everybody. I'm Kristen.
Rachel.
Right? Yeah, okay. And this is So I'm Watching Gilmore Girls, Season 2, Episode 6, presenting Lorelai Gilmore.
Woo.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's fine.
Christopher?
He stresses me out, man.
Yeah.
Just capital F fuckboy. And they really do never grow out of it, do they? No. And the fact that he got his shit together for his new girlfriend who gave him an ultimatum, that's gonna stick. Does it stick? Interesting.
Sort of.
Okay.
Let's just say karma's a bitch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he gets all together and Sherry
Well,
leaves?
we'll see.
Okay.
Karma's a bitch.
All right.
Okay.
He's just so hot. So I get it.
David Sutcliffe is so hot.
Very, very hot.
Yeah.
He's so charming.
I feel like, I think he might be kind of weird IRL.
Oh. Yeah, didn't we talk about that? Him and the guy that plays Luke? Are there like MAGA people?
I think, okay. I think Scott Patterson's okay. I think David Sutcliffe might be a Republican.
Oh, well.
Who knows?
Don't you say that word to me! Go get my holy water.
Okay, so the gist of this episode is that Rory is coming out. She's having a debutante ball.
I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Got to let it show. Thank you.
I guess the actual lead up to it is that Emily and Richard are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to go to a party, and she's like, we have to go to this party. And so they're fighting when Lorelai and Rory show up for Friday night dinner. That's the only Friday night dinner we get, like Friday night dinner content that we get in this episode, is that they've arrived. So we don't find out until much later why they're fighting, but basically Emily is hanging out with her DIR friends, and they're telling her all of the latest gossip that she's missed because Richard keeps on declining to go to these events with her. And you can't really go alone. It's weird. You're supposed to go together.
People just talk shit.
Then Rory comes by to pick up a book that Richard left for her. And when she comes back out to the patio, they are all sizing her up like the last warthog at the Oasis.
Oh, just a buy Sal.
Yeah. And so she ends up having agreed to do this coming out ball because Katie something or other has a scab on her face. So Rory will definitely be the prettiest one there. I tell you. Rory's actually kind of excited about it. And she's like, and Grandma's excited about it. So Lorelai's like, okay, if you want to do it, let's do it. And then she's like, well, it says that my dad's supposed to present me, but I'm sure somebody else could do it, like Taylor.
Or the cable guy.
I was like, what about Luke?
Yeah, right?
But regardless, so Lorelai calls Christopher and he immediately agrees. And even still, and also the speech she gives him is red for filth. She's like, you've missed everything.
I'm surprised he has a scalp left.
Yeah, you don't call when you say, you don't come when you say, none of this. So I think you owe her. And he's like, I'll definitely be there. And it also was weird that she had to call a number and then it was a forwarded number.
Yeah.
He hadn't let them know that he moved to Boston.
Mm-hmm. It's weird.
Super weird.
Not good dad behavior.
Not good dad behavior. So he's like, no, I'll definitely be there. And they even still are like, I think it's 60-40 that he's going to show up. Which, I mean, they are managing their expectations.
Yeah.
Which is partially good. He does show up. He's got a Volvo now instead of the bike. And he has brought her the compact Oxford English dictionary. So he did make that happen. He has a real job now. He's not trying to do a .com startup or something. So he's not rich, but he's doing good now. So that's all great. Christopher, because you turned to me halfway through the episode and you were like, does he flake out on this?
I was very scared.
I was like, no, Christopher does what Christopher needs to do. The worst part of this episode is Dean.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very yes.
Way to make your 16-year-old relationship completely transactional.
Yep, but that's what they learn. That's what they learn.
I'll do this for you.
If you do this for me.
If you watch Battle Bots with me, you have to be in a tuxedo for 1 hour.
Right. I'm sorry, you get to go to an event where you look hot. Like, are you kidding? I'm sorry that it's such an inconvenience.
No, it's unacceptable.
And has an attitude about it the entire time.
Whole time. And she has to just keep saying Neil Young looks cool in a tux.
Did he?
I don't know. Let's see.
I mean,
let's find out.
That was a callback to our last episode.
I mean, he doesn't look not cool, but like, why is Neil Young the height of cool?
I don't know.
Everyone looks cool in a tux.
I don't know.
Paul Giamatti looks cool in a tux. Wear a fucking tux. That was me to Paul Giamatti. He's a lovely man, and he seems nice.
Yeah, I just wear nice clothes.
Thank you.
I just do something because you love your girlfriend and you want to make her happy.
That part.
Like, that's just what you do for people that you care about.
Yeah.
If there is minor discomfort, you just keep that to your fucking self. Do you know how many Grateful Dead things I had to sit through? And I even bought tickets and surprised my ex for like this Grateful Dead thing because he was having a hard time. Because he was always having a hard time. I sat through so much jam band bullshit and I hated every second of it. Every second. But I did it because that's what you fucking do. And I kept my fucking mouth shut until things were starting to get bad in the end. And then it was just like, I'm just going to start to dig. And
so I think there's a difference between like, because so like Will and I, we like make agreements about stuff where like when we had just moved in together and I was like, what if I was like, I know you want me to watch Doctor Who. I'll watch Doctor Who with you if then you watch Buffy with me.
Yeah.
And he was like, for sure. And I got more out of that than he did because he did not like Buffy as much as I liked Doctor Who. But he still did it. And Buffy was like a blind spot for him.
Yeah.
And now he kind of gets it and he can understand, you know, when I'm talking about stuff. But that's this for me is the moment where like you've been listening to my Buffy stuff with Trevor for the most part. So there was like a long build up until we were like actually completely done with Riley.
Yeah.
But like once once it reaches like this certain point, it's like everything after this is that bitch is eating crackers and I can't handle it.
Yeah.
And so this is the moment for me with Dean where I'm like, look at that bitch eating cracker. Like
I feel
I'm
like
sick of it.
I have been that way since the beginning where I'm just like everything about him, it's like just taking a cheese grater and going the opposite way against my skin.
Well, so for me, a lot of it is similar to how I feel about early Angel on Buffy, where I'm like, I understand the like really super deep, intense first love feelings. So like I can accept the Angel of it all to a point. And it's the same with Dean where I'm like, first boyfriend, you know, he's 16 too. I get it. Like, it's whatever. Until now. And I'm like, this is something that is important to Rory. You already made a bad impression with her family, which was mostly Richard's fault. But still, it's like, you're not making a good impression. You don't really have plans for after school. You don't fit into this. Why don't you do this thing without fucking complaining? That'll prove to them a little that you might be able to, like, handle this. Which is, like, also it's assuming a lot that Rory is going to want to be, like, in society as well. However, if I were Dean, I would be so scared of the Gilmores that I would be doing literally everything I could to try to fit in. And just the whole time, nothing. I can't dance, and I have to wear tails and gloves and a bow tie. Ugh.
It just, there has been such a lack of respect for Rory since he showed up. At no point has he invested any time and actual care and respect in this relationship.
So in that case, it is very the same as with Angel, because when Trevor and I talk about Angel and Cordelia on Angel the series, we're like, they have built a friendship and a relationship. So then when it gets to the point where you're like, oh, this is maybe romantic, you're like, wow, well, they already like each other. We know that. Whereas with the Buffy and Angel, you're like, have you met before?
Right. Do you guys know each other?
Because, like, it doesn't seem like you've met before.
Right, but you keep insisting upon us that this is a love for the ages.
Exactly.
And so you can get in relationships where you don't actually respect that person, but you can usually figure that out pretty quickly because if it's, he's never said anything positive about anything. When, with the way that they do things, the TV shows that they watch, he acts above it all. So it's like, so I'm confused then, why are you dating?
Yeah.
Like, she's pretty, But, like, it's not like you're getting your dick wet. So, like, I'm
She's
sorry.
not like other girls.
Like, I'm sorry to, like, be so baseless and, like, gross
No,
about,
but-
like, getting your dick wet. But, like, usually with shit like that, it's like, dude, she blows me, like, so fucking hard. But you're not getting any of that. So what are we doing here? I'm so confused.
Yeah, because your lives are already so separate. So,
Right.
So why are you not trying to get a little more into this, into her stuff, as opposed to making her watch battle bots with you?
Knowing that she's not going to like it.
Yeah.
So then it's just going to make him resent her even more. And so the cycle of disrespect and resentment just keeps going.
Because
so
just
break up.
Because that's the thing where it's like, sure, he's not excited about doing this, but he's also not going to hate every minute of it.
No.
Where it's like, so then why are you punishing her? Like, why are you doing something that's so clearly punitive in response?
Yep.
Wild.
You asked me to do this thing, so now I get to punish you. It's gross.
Wild.
Disgusting. Just because
So
you were uncomfortable in a stiff outfit. Yeah. Hi, have you looked at anything that we have to wear? Well, that we enjoy wearing, but
sometimes.
Yeah, but you get yummy food out of it. It was you could probably go find that fucking girl that had the Midori sour in her
Libby.
Yeah, in her flask. I mean, there's stuff that you could do to make it fun, but like, get out of here.
Yeah,
I'm ready for him to go.
Okay, so they do break up, but he's never totally gone.
They never really are.
Well, because like Supernatural started in like 2006 or something.
Sure. I don't know. I feel like that show has been on for 30 years.
It's over now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. For like, I think 1 or 2 seasons now. I think it went 18 seasons. Yeah. So it started in 2005.
Gosh.
So I think maybe it was last spring that it ended. Yeah. So he's like not in it a lot towards the end, but he's in most of the seasons.
For what?
You'll see.
Oh God, do they posit him as like the one that got away, or like it's just first love? And
it's more
like Christopher. Like Christopher just keeps popping up sometimes.
Sort of.
Ew, he's not even that compelling to still hold on to like that.
Okay, so this actually says his last appearance is in season 5.
Okay.
So he's not all the way. He's not in it all the way to the end.
Okay.
So season 5.
But still.
And he's in the like revival.
Year in the Life or whatever.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything except sucking and making her small. Ugh, disgusting.
Okay, don't put anything in the comments if you've already seen the series before, but I'm gonna do everything I can to get her through season 4.
I mean, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I want to. I just
think you're gonna start having problems with Rory in season 5. So it's gonna be like a tough sell.
I know that she starts to suck.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
It's like you get to the point where you're like, is Rory the villain?
Yeah.
Of this whole thing?
Yeah. But in this instance, I don't think it's her.
No.
It is absolutely him.
She like it's a very live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Yeah. Like just die a hero or live long, and she lives long enough. Okay, so the debut takes up like most of it. It's actually great. Like Lorelai and Emily are getting along, which is nice. They're like shopping for stuff. Richard is sort of an unrelenting cock in this episode.
Yeah.
And I turn to you when he's yelling about the cufflinks after they've come back from shopping, and you had such a face on your face, and I was like, there's an explanation.
Did I really?
You did. You were like, yeah. And so I was like, there's an explanation for his behavior. I think he is reacting larger than it deserves.
I agree, but he is a man that's figuring out that he's facing his mortality.
Yes, he is also coming to grips with his obsolescence. Just like the faculty parking lot.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I get it, but we really need to teach our men how to work through their feelings.
I tell you.
Instead of taking it out on everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
because he's also what's actually the most shocking to me is that he's not able to put aside some of these feelings and just be excited for Rory, because he loves Rory so much.
Yeah.
And so, and at no point do we get from Richard that he is bummed out again about Lorelai. We only get that comment from Emily at the end when she's like, that should have been you. So we don't actually get that from Richard. So that does not seem to be in the soup of his emotions. He is just pissed because he's getting iced out of his company. They're trying to like force a retirement on him because he's like maybe too old.
On one hand, I understand. Because he literally said, I've been doing this. I wake up every morning, put on my suit, I go to my office, and I've been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, aren't you tired? You have so much money. Go see the world.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he and Emily, they do take annual trips. They do like the Hamptons in the spring or the summer, and they go to Paris like every other like spring, or like Europe like every other spring or whatever. So it's not that they don't do those kind of things, but it's like his whole identity is so wrapped up in his work and his job and like the things that affords him.
That's why I need all of the generations to chill the fuck out on millennials, because we are breaking that cycle and we are realizing that we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then get to the end of our life and then have the possibility of, I don't know if I'll ever get to do the thing I wanted to do, so we just do it now. Like, it's so funny because I was for so much of my life, describing myself as a workhorse was like a point of pride for me. And then we worked through that in therapy. Yeah. And I like, so much of my identity doesn't have to be wrapped up in what I do for work. Yeah. Granted, I am the type of person that the thing I do for a career, I have to feel passionate about. So it is kind of like mingled in there. But like going to a job to go type, business for 30 years, I would rather die.
Well, I was talking to Will like a while back, and I was like, I'm 38, and I think the retirement age for women is higher, right? Or is it lower? Like the like official, like when you can start accepting Social Security.
65.
Is it 65?
Yeah.
I thought one was higher or lower. Regardless, I was like, I can't do this for 30 more years.
No.
I will kill myself.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I can maybe hack it till I'm 50. And if I'm still doing like an office job,
that's why
it's over for you hoes.
Yeah.
It's over for this hoe for sure.
That's why what I do for my career, I want it to be tied to a hobby. So I could do that for much longer, but my soul isn't being sucked out every day. You know what I mean?
Like, I am fine with an office job. I don't feel like my soul is getting sucked out. But also, I just can't imagine having spent... So I got my first job when I was 16. I cannot imagine having spent 45 years of my life working.
No.
Gross.
Yeah. No.
Capitalism ain't it, babes.
No, it's not.
No. So, like...
No, you know what? And it's so funny. I'm actually really surprised that my dad has done so well in retirement. Yeah. Because as much as he was like, fuck the system for all 35 years at that job, but he really did get in and get out. Like, he got up really early, beat the traffic, did his stops, he came home, and he did whatever he wanted for the rest of the day. Yeah. And so, but he, like, has kept himself busy. That's good. So it's been so much, like, he now has a little bit more time for his passions because he was already doing that stuff every day.
Doing so much anyway.
But, like, I had a friend who her dad retired, like, really early and then went back, and it was like he owned this business, and so his business partner basically like bought him out so he could retire, and he went back and worked for the business because after like a year he was like really depressed and was like, I can't do this.
Yeah. That's also, men need to make friendships outside their family.
Yes.
Because that's like a big problem. I mean, so my mom died almost 10 years ago. My dad's been retired for over a decade. And he...
Really? That long? What year was your dad born?
1959.
So same as my dad.
Military.
Wow, okay.
So he was in the military, all told, with the Army and the Coast Guard for like 23 years. And so he retired after his last assignment at Coast Guard headquarters in DC. And so once they left DC, he was retired from the military, and then he got a civilian job basically doing the same thing, but for more money. And he did that for like a while, but he was already retired when my mom passed away, like when she was sick, and that was in 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, like, retired from his civilian job, too? Damn.
I don't know what he does all day.
That is insane. Especially because your dad has no friends.
No friends.
Sorry to put him on blast, but also kind of putting you on
doesn't
blast.
Watch this,
sir. I know.
If we know one thing, it's that my fucking dad does not watch this channel. He thinks that I want to be Roger Ebert. No. He thinks that's what I'm trying to do.
No. That's not what this is.
Are you stupid?
Sir.
A little. All that to say that basically Richard is just like angry because this company that he helped build is trying to push him out for retirement, and he's pissed about it. That continues for the season. Not the intense anger.
Okay.
But like the job thing continues for Richard. I think I like it a lot. I think I've mentioned this before when we were watching Maisel. Lorelai gets a boyfriend that is very divisive in the fandom, and I like him a lot.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people don't, and he is, like, in business with Richard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like Jason a lot.
Okay.
He was Abe's boss at The Village Voice.
Oh!
That actor.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see where we go when we get that. But I think that's not until season 3 or 4.
Okay.
I think, regardless. I think it's fun. So yeah, so the debut goes great. Rory's adorable. They have to do this absurd fan dance. There's this girl named Libby who's like, I've done 5 debutante balls because they say 4 out of 5 Debs marry their escort or whatever, and so I'm hoping one of them sticks. And then I love the thing later when Lorelai and Christopher and Dean and Rory are all walking down. She goes, Libby said, it's too bad you're not my stepdad, because if you were, I could steal you away from Mom.
Wild.
Hilarious. So funny. Is that mostly it? Oh no, there's like one really funny slight running thing through the whole episode, which is that Jess is supposed to be helping at the diner, and he is not like presenting himself on time, and then he's also wearing a really upsetting Metallica t-shirt. And so Luke tells him to go upstairs and change and then come back down and help. And then later in the episode, on a different day, he is wearing a backwards baseball cap and a flannel. And he's like, I thought it was the uniform. It's like, just like A+ delivery.
Yeah.
From Milo, like really solid. And Luke too is like, whatever, this doesn't bother me, just do your work. And so he's like really specifically putting the salt and peppers and stuff. And he's just, go upstairs and change, like immediately furious. It's so funny. The like dance scene was kind of cute where like Rory and Dean were trying to dance, and then Lorelai and Christopher came in and just like did it.
Wiped the floor with them.
So hot. And then Christopher has a girlfriend.
Yep.
Christopher has a girlfriend named Sherry. I am going to tell you that we meet her, and she is played by Mädchen Amick.
Ah! Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good and bad.
Okay.
She's sort of manic. It's funny.
And we're surprised?
No, but it's funny.
I feel like that's Mädchen Amick's, like, sweet spot.
Well, so I can't lie. This show, and then I want to say Gossip Girl, because in season 2, she has like an affair with Nate in the Hamptons. Like season 2 opens in the Hamptons, and she's having an affair with him. Those are actually two. I like didn't like her for a while, and I was like, I don't really know why, because once I started watching her in other stuff, and especially Riverdale, I was like, she's great. Why did I not like her? And then every time I rewatch this, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, never mind. But yeah, so that is pretty much it. We will be back next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.